Kaela's boots sank into the soft earth as she stood before the towering archway of Elendril's gate, the entrance to the ancient, forgotten city that lay buried within the heart of the shattered wastes. Soren lingered beside her, his staff glowing faintly in the dim light of dawn. The gate stood weathered by time, carved with runes that pulsed gently like a heartbeat, as though the city itself awaited their arrival. "You're sure this is the right place?" Kaela asked, running her fingers across the strange marks etched into the stone. The touch of the runes sent a shiver through her. "This is it," Soren replied. "The first Echo Shard lies within these ruins, but the path is not for the faint-hearted." Kaela exhaled sharply. The weight of her responsibility grew heavier with each step of their journey. The first rift had only been the beginning. The cracks in the veil were spreading, and the power of the shades grew stronger every day. To mend the veil, they needed the Echo Shards, a collection of relics hidden in ancient places, each guarded by a trial left by the ancients. "Let's get this over with," Kaela said, steeling herself. As they passed beneath the archway, the world seemed to shift. The air grew colder, and the light of the rising sun dimmed as though swallowed by the weight of the past. The city sprawled before them, a labyrinth of crumbling towers and streets overgrown with glowing moss. Shadows moved in the corners of Kaela's vision, ghostly figures that whispered in a language she couldn't understand. "It's not just the shades we need to worry about," Soren warned. "The trials are designed to test your spirit. The ancients weren't kind to those they deemed unworthy." Kaela gave him a sideways glance. "Good thing I'm stubborn." The trial of knowledge. Their first challenge lay in the Hall of Echoes, a vast chamber filled with floating shards of crystal, each reflecting distorted visions of the past, present, and future. At the center of the chamber stood a pedestal holding a glowing sphere, its light flickering like a dying flame. "The trial of knowledge," Soren explained. "The ancients revered wisdom and foresight. To claim the Echo Shard, you must solve their riddle." A voice echoed through the chamber, deep and resonant. "The past shapes the present shapes the future, yet only one can guide your path. Choose wisely, or be lost to time." Kaela frowned, studying the sphere. Around it, the crystal shards floated in deliberate patterns, each reflecting moments that tugged at her emotions. One shard showed her childhood in Moonvale, her mother teaching her to track deer in the woods. Another displayed the chaos of the rift's opening, the shades tearing through her home. A third showed a vision of herself standing atop a mountain, holding a glowing shard as the veil shimmered with restored strength. "I don't understand," Kaela muttered. "What do I choose?" Soren stepped forward, his expression thoughtful. "The ancients believed that while the past and future hold value, only the present holds true power. Focus on what's in front of you." Kaela nodded, taking a deep breath. Ignoring the distractions of the crystal shards, she reached out and touched the glowing sphere. A wave of warmth spread through her, and the chamber shifted. The shard at the center of the room materialized in her hands, a small fragment of light, pulsing with energy. "You did it," Soren said, relief evident in his voice. "But we're not done yet." The trial of resolve. Their next challenge came in the depths of the city, where the ruins gave way to a cavern of black stone. The air was thick with an oppressive energy, and the faint sound of whispers grew louder with every step. At the cavern's center stood a massive creature, a Shade Warden, its form a writhing mass of darkness with glowing eyes like embers. "This is my trial?" Kaela asked, drawing her bow. "Doesn't seem very intellectual." "The trial of resolve," Soren corrected. "The ancients tested not just strength, but perseverance. This creature will push you to your limits." Kaela didn't wait for it to make the first move. She loosed an arrow, the glowing tip streaking through the darkness. It struck the Shade Warden, but the creature barely flinched. It roared, the sound reverberating through the cavern, and charged toward her. Kaela leapt aside, rolling across the ground as the Warden's massive claws swiped through the air where she had stood. Soren chanted behind her, his staff glowing as he summoned barriers of light to slow the creature's advance. "You've got to weaken its core," Soren shouted. Kaela gritted her teeth, nocking another arrow. She aimed for the center of the Shade Warden's mass, where its form seemed to flicker and shift the most. But as she fired, The whispers in the cavern grew louder, pressing into her mind like a storm. Doubts and fears surfaced, memories of failure, of moments she had let others down. "No," she muttered, shaking her head. "You're not getting to me." She focused, drawing on the strength she had found in her journey so far. With a cry, she loosed a final arrow, its light piercing the warden's core. The creature let out a guttural roar before dissolving into mist, the echoes of its presence fading into silence. "You're stronger than you think," Soren said, offering her a hand. Kaela took it, pulling herself to her feet. "And more stubborn," she added, managing a small smile. The trial of unity. The final challenge lay at the heart of the city, where the ruins gave way to a tranquil garden unlike anything Kaela had seen before. Trees with silver leaves swayed gently in a breeze she couldn't feel, and a small pool of crystalline water reflected the light of the stars, though it was still daytime. At the center of the garden stood a statue of two figures, a mortal and a spirit, their hands reaching toward each other. Between them floated the final Echo Shard, its light casting long shadows across the garden. "This is the trial of unity," Soren said softly. "The ancients believed that balance could only be achieved through harmony between our worlds. To claim the shard, you must prove that unity." "How?" Kaela asked. As if in response, the garden shifted. The statue faded, replaced by a vision of Kaela's village, but it wasn't Moonvale as she remembered. It was overrun with shades, the people she loved trapped and powerless. Among the figures stood Soren, his form flickering like a candle in the wind. "You'll have to choose," the voice of the ancients intoned. "Save your world, or save the one who walks beside you." Kaela's heart sank. She looked at Soren, who met her gaze with quiet understanding. "I won't hold it against you," he said. "The people of your village need you." But Kaela shook her head. "No. The ancients are wrong. Unity means finding another way." She stepped forward, her mark glowing brightly as she reached for the shard. The vision shattered, replaced by the statue once more. The voice of the ancients returned, tinged with approval. "You have passed. Take the shard, and carry the light of unity." Kaela grasped the shard, its energy merging with her own. She turned to Soren, who smiled faintly. "You're something special, Kaela Everstride," he said. "The shards are only the beginning." Kaela and Soren's journey grows ever more dangerous as they uncover the truths buried deep within the spirit realms. Will Kaela's resolve hold strong as the final battles draw near? Join us for the next chapter as the path to the Veil. Restoration reveals its darkest secrets. Don't miss out. Subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more.